Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Tuesday morning to you all. Hope you guys are doing well out there this morning and having a wonderful start to your day. And I hope everyone's been having a great week out there so far. We are unfortunately waking up to an increased tornado threat across areas to the south this morning. In fact, we have a risk of strong tornadoes. So, of course, this is going to take most of our attention right off the dot in this video. We'll spend the most time on this. We'll break down Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, etc. We'll talk about, obviously, the severe weather threat. We'll talk about the flash flooding risk also. We'll speak on the outlooks, current conditions. And after we get done doing all that, we will break down the rest of the country. And then we will move forward and speak a little bit on the days to come. I'm not going to get as detailed as I've been getting as far as the pattern, just because I feel like we've discussed it to death, if you will. But we will talk about the outlooks for the days to come as far as the excessive rainfall outlook, the Storm Prediction Center outlook, those things, and how much rain we could see over the next several days. So if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. It goes a long way, especially in these slower times. I can officially say this has been one of the slowest times on my YouTube channel in probably the last at least 2 years. It's just been slow. I don't, we credit it to, people are out and about. I have most of my audience here in the Southeast, and there just hasn't been a whole lot going on in the Southeast. It could be a number of things. It's more of a live stream dominated season, spring. But something has definitely shifted this year, and I started noticing it last year. But, I do appreciate people who continue to tune in. It means the world. And making this part of your routine. And more importantly, guys, if you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to do it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. If you need someone to talk to, I'm free. Like I said, I'm slow right now. If you just need someone to talk to, you got stuff going on, hit me up in the messenger on Facebook, X, shoot me an email, or just put it in the comments if you're comfortable doing that. I'm definitely here for you folks. It's a family type atmosphere. And stay tuned for the end if you want to hear a devotion, a Bible devotion. We'll read in scripture a little bit. So let's get rocking and rolling. So this is the latest on what's going on right now across Texas, Oklahoma. We do have a round of shower and storm activity. Some of this action is hitting severe limits. For example, up here in northern Texas, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. We even have some flash flood warnings. So what we'll watch for later on is this entire area right here of eastern Texas will begin to get a lot more active. There'll be just enough overlapping conditions as far as ingredients to pose a threat of strong tornadoes right here in this region of Texas. So we'll zoom into that outlook here in a second. And eventually, we'll just get widespread shower and storm activity to develop even across Louisiana into southern Mississippi, which is when a flooding threat will really begin to escalate, materialize. But we're getting a lot of rain up here in Oklahoma right now too. Here, the panhandle of Texas, even the panhandle of Oklahoma also, and still some heavy rain, even some snow falling up here in the higher elevations of New Mexico and southern Colorado. So this is current conditions as far as the area we're about to speak on with severe weather. So speaking on the outlook, I always want to throw this out there. This information will likely tweak a little bit. We'll have another update for the Storm Prediction Center here in the next 2 hours or so. So, they might broaden the enhanced risk area or shrink it, do something. But right now we have an enhanced risk level 3 out of 5 in this orange region of severe weather. So this stretches from the northern suburbs of Houston back over to just about Austin. Does include College Station. You guys are like right in the middle of it. Lufkin, the Woodlands. I will zoom in a little bit more into this. Huntsville, I know it gets kind of everywhere. There's like a million towns and cities that pop up, but it literally cuts Houston in half. I mean, like the outlook here, but I wouldn't hyper focus on that. They could extend the enhanced risk to include the rest of Houston, the rest of Austin, but it basically enhanced risk is up between Waco, Austin, Houston, all the way back over to Lufkin and everybody in between. So we'll make this larger. The slight risk does go all the way to portions of northwest Texas, all the way through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Goes through Waco, all the way back down to Alexandria, Louisiana, to Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, to Beaumont, the rest of Houston, and Galveston, almost all the way down to San Antonio. And then we do have a marginal risk that extends all the way up to Amarillo, to Oklahoma City. This is really for what's going on right now. All the way back down into the southern areas of Arkansas, cuts Mississippi right in half. but it does include Jackson into even sections of southwestern Alabama has a marginal risk, and it does include the rest of deep south Texas, including San Antonio, Corpus Christi, all the way down to Brownsville, Texas. So San Angelo included in this also. So what's driving this? It's really the tornado threat. So if I zoom into this region, that yellow area, that is a 10% risk of a tornado within 25 miles in a given location. So this includes College Station, Huntsville, the northern suburbs of Houston, up to Lufkin, Centerville, Temple, all the way over to Round Rock. You guys, a 10% risk of a tornado within 25 miles in a given location. You also have a 10% risk of this tornado being a strong a tornado, which is an EF2 or higher. So there is a risk of strong tornadoes also. This outlook could broaden. And then around this, all the way up to Dallas, all the way to just south of Shreveport through Alexandria, Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, Beaumont, the rest of Houston, Galveston, down to Bay City, over to Austin, Waco, Stephenville, you have a 5% risk of a tornado within 25 miles in a given location. And the green area, which includes New Orleans, Houma, San Antonio, Abilene, Fort Worth, up to Wichita Falls, Shreveport, 2% risk of a tornado. Now, there is a risk of damaging winds. This entire pretty much a yellow area, there's a 15% risk of winds exceeding 55 to 60 miles per hour within 25 miles in a given location. And then the hail threats is shifted in a little bit of a different geographical area, but yellow area, 15% risk of hail exceeding 1 inch in diameter or larger. But in the western half of this yellow area, there is not only the 15% risk of hail exceeding 1 inch, there's also a 10% risk of significant hail, which is hail exceeding 2 inch in diameter or larger. So this could really unfold pretty much between now and the early afternoon hours. So a little bit better lapse rates, cooler air aloft the further west you go. That helps aid in more hail and larger hail. So don't ignore the large hail threat with this severe weather risk today either. So I do want to mention the flash flooding threat. This goes through eastern Texas, through almost all of Louisiana, except the far southeastern portions of the state, like south of New Orleans. But basically in this red area, this includes Jackson, Hattiesburg, Gulfport, Biloxi also. Red area, that's a 40% risk of flash flooding occurring. Almost a 50-50 shot. And then the yellow area, that is a 15% risk, which goes all the way over to Tuscaloosa, Pensacola, Florida, back down to Houston, Austin, all the way up to Oklahoma City, Guymon, Woodard, all the way into southeastern portions of Colorado. So don't ignore the flash flooding threat. We'll talk about this as we break this down state by state. And speaking of the state-by-state breakdown, let's start up from west to east. So let's speak on Oklahoma first. Now, we know we got this big surge of moisture moving in right now. This is the time frame we're at. So 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., midday. So this is around lunchtime. Some of this rain's beginning to break up, begins to calm down a little bit back down near Childress, maybe Amarillo, Lubbock, Elk City. But you take it to about the middle of the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock. We're getting scattered convection, shower, and storm activity. I don't know how severe this will be. It doesn't look that bad on this particular run, but I will say, look over here, around southeastern portions of Oklahoma. It looks like some of these are more intense as far as colors, so could have some stronger cells down in southeastern portions of the state. And then we'll continue to move until about 8 o'clock, and still just scattered convection, shower, and some rumbles of thunderstorm activity in northern Oklahoma. And then we get some cells trying to develop back near Amarillo, really west of Lubbock. We'll see if these can grow, mature, get stronger. But by the time we're into midnight, kind of the same look, just a lot of shower, storm activity sort of just hanging out around the northern areas of Oklahoma. But really, it just looks like more so heavy rain. But we start to get all the way into tomorrow morning, and overall, the severe weather threat is not as bad, I don't think, up here in this area of Texas and Oklahoma compared to your south and southeast and east. So, speaking of to your south, this is going to be a big area right here. So we're going to start this around 8 a.m. And remember, this is what's going on right now as of, I guess in your time, it's around 5:45 a.m. right now. So all this action's on the way to northern and eastern Texas, where we'll try to get even more mature and just get stronger. But this is 8 a.m., so this is over the next couple hours. You can already see that these cells kind of have that hook to them. See, I don't have, let's see, I don't have where I can draw on this. My bad, guys. I hate when I have to pull this up on the fly. But some of these cells already kind of have that look to it where you see how they're kind of going like this and like that, like that. It just has that look that these could be kind of semi-discrete supercells or rotating thunderstorms, kind of that kidney bean look that we talk about a lot when breaking down severe weather. But you keep going here, and we take it to about mid-morning and just sort of a broken line of storms. But the further south you get down here near Waco College Station, you got to start to watch out for these. You see a little squiggly circle lines coming off. These are indicated by the HRRR model, more intense updrafts, rotating updrafts. So as we start to get to about midday, tornado threat could really begin to increase near College Station. You see these cells, kind of the splotches of purple and pink, little circles coming off these. These are cells that are more capable of producing tornadoes than I think to your neighbors up here to the north in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Sherman Parish, Texarkana area. But these storms up here could pack a punch too. But this cluster of storms down here south of Tyler, you got to watch out for these. I think that these will produce some tornadoes, and I think that these could be like rain-wrapped tornadoes too. It's not going to be something like you see in the plains where you have a clear visual of the tornado. I'm not saying you won't, but I do think that these will be shrouded in rain a lot. But this is around 3 p.m. Watch out Lufkin and any communities here, even Shreveport getting some nasty storms. We'll talk about Louisiana here in a second, but we still got some intense storms around Waco, north of Houston. This is 4 p.m. I'm sorry, north of Austin is what I meant to say. But still, I mean, even into 5 p.m., you're starting to get more discrete-looking cells. Like this is 5 p.m. See these cells right in here? Lufkin points east. These are concerning. This one right here between Waco, College Station, Tyler. These are concerning-looking cells. And then even more storms try to form. Like this is 7 p.m., this is 8 p.m. Look at those storms near College Station. 9 p.m., 10 p.m. could still have a tornado threat. And this is like around midnight. And then we're starting to move after the midnight hours. And I think things begin to calm down. But, man, things start to go downhill fast. It's not something that's going to take a while to get going. I mean, this is midday. This is lunchtime. And we got hefty storms already moving through eastern Texas. And then just more will fire up behind this as we have just trailing outflows and things like that. But, you know, speaking on a little bit further south, okay, so down here near Austin, San Antonio, Houston, what about these regions down here? So as we're starting to move into 9 a.m., 10 a.m., already storms, it looks like that are capable of producing maybe a spin up or a tornado. I mean, this is 10 a.m. here in the next few hours. Right up the interstate, Austin, up to Waco. I mean, these storms are already starting to have that look. They're already kind of hooking. And we get to 12. Storms could produce all hazards already. And then we start to get into 3 p.m. And this is when you have to watch out for these storms near Huntsville, Lufkin. We already mentioned that a lot already. But nothing going on in Houston yet. But look at these cells north of Beaumont. Like, look at these circles coming off these storms. These are the potential for tornadoes, tornadic supercells, especially where you see those circles coming off the cells. This indicates stronger, potentially rotating updrafts, intense updrafts, large hail, a tornado threat. The more you see that, the more that this model is trying to highlight a higher tornado threat. So you continue, and then we get at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m. We got more storms trying to form near College Station, Huntsville. But if you notice, not a whole lot happens in Houston until maybe like after midnight. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but we got a big cell that forms like well south of San Antonio and west of Corpus Christi. And some action tries to right up the Texas coastline. And then we're waking up to maybe some very strong to severe storms around Houston, Lake Jackson, Galveston, up to Beaumont, up to Lake Charles for tomorrow morning. So it honestly might not get bad in this area, like Houston, surrounding regions, until late tonight. There's a potential for that. And then talking about Louisiana and southern Mississippi, you know, we'll move here in time. We'll take it to about lunchtime. Not a whole lot going on. Some scattered convection. It's possible. And then we get to 2 p.m. Storms already moving into Shreveport. Heavy rain. We get into 5 p.m. Look at all these storms moving into Louisiana. We got storms down here near Lake Charles. So this is 5 p.m. We got storms up here near Shreveport, Monroe. I know Alexandria, for example, doesn't show anything at this hour, but that doesn't mean nothing's going to happen at this hour. So just keep that in mind. And then these supercells will try to make their way into western Louisiana. So the western parishes of Louisiana, please be aware of these. I guess shows a really nasty cell around 6 p.m. right down here in south central sections of the state. Heavy rain down the Lafayette. Some nasty strong to severe storms up here near Monroe. These could produce all hazards. And I do think there's a potential that they could extend this tornado threat. I could see them extend this tornado threat a little bit more into Louisiana like this. I could see it happening, especially based off what kind of data that we have right at this second. But, you know, you continue to move forward here. I'm probably going to have to go back up here and click it, give it a little helping hand. This is 7 p.m., just clusters of strong to severe storms and heavy rain moving through Louisiana. And then look at this cell blasting through Jackson, heavy rain moving through the southern areas of Mississippi. And I mean, even 10 p.m., guys, you see how clustered up everything is? This makes these storms more dangerous. So, I mean, they're not really super discreet, like all alone, if you will. But, man, this screams rain-wrapped tornadoes to me. But we start to get later into the evening. These storms still look intense. Like, this is 11 p.m. We're still getting blasted by storms really anywhere in Louisiana, especially central to southern Louisiana. And, you know, they could keep up intensity all the way into after midnight, all the way into southwestern Mississippi, for example. Look at this cell right here. And far southwest Mississippi. Look at this heavy rain down here and storm activity in southern areas of Louisiana. And you just keep going. This is 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. The flooding threat could really get going in this area. If you guys been watching, you know, I mentioned this last week. I said that a lot of storm activity would have the potential to drape across the southern Gulf states. And depending on where that dew point boundary sets up, around that area, points south, can have the potential to just get round after round of shower and storm activity. And this is how it looks like it's going to unfold, at least over the next 24 hours. So we're waking up tomorrow morning to some hefty storm activity across Texas, southeastern Texas, southern Louisiana, and to just the southern Gulf states in general. So I will mention how much rain could fall, say, in this region, Louisiana, surrounding states. Let's look here. And let's look at, no, not snow. No more snow for you guys. You guys got a big one this past winter. But this is rainfall. Let's just go the next 48 hours. This is rainfall between now and 1 a.m. Thursday. See the pockets in the yellow? That's where you could get over 5 inches of rain. Lafayette going for over 5 inches between now and 1 a.m. Thursday. Baton Rouge 4 to 5. Lake Charles 3 to 4. A lot of rain in this area, guys. Dangerous rainfall totals. Because a lot of this could fall really quickly. You could get 2 inches of rain in 45 minutes. I mean, that's going to cause flash flooding. So, you know, Jackson 3, Meridian 2 to 3 inches, Hattiesburg 3 to 4. A lot of rain's going to fall in this region, so be aware of that. You know, looking at the updraft velocity swath through Texas, I mean, you can tell that these storms are going to have the opportunity to produce some strong, please get off the screen, come on, some strong activity. So, you know, across the areas highlighted in these streaks of color, this is where we have stronger, more intense updrafts, storms that are capable of producing very large hail and tornadoes. And you can see it's through this area. And you can also see this in Louisiana also. Let's look up in this region. And let's look at that. You can see these intense updrafts all the way into southwest Mississippi. So this is why I think that they're going to increase the tornado threat for Louisiana. I really do. I think they'll extend this 10% risk of tornadoes into sections of Louisiana here. Don't want to say, hey, you heard it here first, but I think that's what they'll end up doing. That's just a gut feeling. That's my call of the morning video, if you will. But where you see these slashes of colors where you could have just more intense storms, stronger updrafts. So be aware of that, guys. That's an update on the severe weather. Let's talk about the rest of the country. Y'all obviously have these you have these flood watches. I always want to say flash flood watches. You have these flood watches up for areas of the western deep south, Oklahoma up to Texas, and still in New Mexico. And then you still have flood watches up for areas of southern New England. Got some winter alerts across areas of the Rockies also. Winter storm warnings in this pink. Winter weather advisories in the purple. So just continue to get some heavy snow up here in this area. And then the rest of the country, as far as the Storm Prediction Center outlook, I do want to mention, we've already talked about this down here. I do want to mention there is a threat of strong to severe storms once again for areas of the Northeast. So southern tier of New York into almost New York City, northeastern PA, northern areas of New Jersey. You do have a level 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather. Wouldn't rule out a quick spin up or tornado. We had a tornado in eastern North Carolina yesterday, and there really wasn't that high of a risk of tornadoes. It happens. But some gusty winds, some hail is possible with this, so be aware. And then the excessive rainfall outlook. We've already spoke on this, but there is a 5% risk of flash flooding across the Northeast and southern New England for today, so be aware of that. And then breaking it down section by section, the Southeast, pretty nice day. Could have some showers, could have some storm activity across Florida today, some scattered thunderstorms. As far as hailstorms like you saw across portions of Florida yesterday, I'm not seeing it, but you definitely could get some hail with some of these storms. And I could see a quick spin up. Like I already see a sail. It's really hard to see that, hey, could produce a quick spin up, could get a boost off the sea breeze down here. But you see that big chunk of rain moving into Alabama tonight. Severe, not so much. Got to watch out for the southwestern areas of the state. Heavier rain. Could have a strong to severe storm with this, but by the time we're waking up tomorrow morning, some rain beginning to enter Georgia. It's raining in the western panhandle of Florida, raining in southern Alabama and southwestern areas of Georgia. But the southeast across the day into this evening, pretty quiet. Northeast, a little bit of a different story, similar pattern. By the time you get into this afternoon, it's around 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice you still have this cooler rain across Ohio, but we just could have a swing through south to north of shower and storm activity through PA, through New York, southern New England, Vermont, New Hampshire. See all this storm activity swinging through, and especially right where the Storm Prediction Center highlights here in PA and southern areas of New York. These storms look more intense. This is around 7 p.m. this evening. So look at these storms heading right up towards like Syracuse in these areas, and then you start to get into tomorrow morning, and you still got this pesky upper level low swinging through, bringing rain across New York. So the flooding threat will be there today across these regions. You guys have gotten a lot of rain, so be aware of that too. And then we've already spoke on this. We talked about the severe weather that you see down there in Texas, but I do want to mention just a solid day of rain across areas of eastern, really southeastern Colorado, northeastern New Mexico, snow in the higher elevations of the Rockies. But will just be a rainy day. This is an area of the country right here that can go through some nasty dry spells. So, you've been seeing a lot of rain. You're going to see it today right here where the panhandle of Oklahoma, Kansas, Colorado, and New Mexico kind of all come together. Just be a rainy day in this region of the country today. But wake up tomorrow morning, still raining in those areas, maybe some storms. South central U.S., pesky little spin continues over lower Michigan. And, I didn't really show what was going on right now. I should go back and look here. A little gas this morning. I'm not gassy. I'm gassed like I'm running out of breath. That's what I mean. I was like, the way I said that was kind of funny. But anyways, feel it was some of these mornings when you just talk for 20, 30 minutes straight, you just start to lose some steam. But there's all that rain you're waking up to here in lower Michigan, areas of Ohio, Indiana. Just still that upper level low in place. And you go back to this, you're still going to be dealing with some lingering rain throughout the afternoon hours in areas of eastern lower Michigan down to Ohio. But after that, calms down, wake up tomorrow morning, and for the most part, besides a little bit of shower activity in the UP, it looks pretty okay. And in the western U.S., besides what we just talked about in Colorado, the Four Corners region, we will continue to have just some showers wrapping and some storm activity wrapping around through Utah, maybe New Mexico, certainly Colorado, and down here into Arizona, maybe even like Las Vegas will still get some rain today. And then, I just thought we haven't heard from Bill in Las Vegas in a long time. He was a long time commenter in the comments, and of course we miss Ron in San Diego. But anyways, hope you guys are doing well. But we continue and wake up tomorrow morning, and finally this feature is starting to move out the picture. Temperatures, it's a weird day. You know, southeast 70s and 80s, still have this pool of cooler air. We have this spinning upper level low. We have a surge of warmth through areas of the northeast, but then there's other areas like the downeast areas of Maine that's in the 50s and 40s. We got this pocket of 70s and 80s across the middle of the country. And then if you look down here in the southern plains, we got this pocket of 50s and 60s. Then we got the cooler air across the Rockies, and we got the warmer air across the western U.S. So it's just kind of a weird temperature day. But tomorrow, severe weather threat, still a risk of thunderstorms across the northeast. The light green is a general risk. The dark green is a level 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather, and we will have that across areas of southern Texas for tomorrow. I think that the marginal risk will extend into southern Louisiana, southern Mississippi at minimum, but for now, just a marginal risk, not a big deal, nothing to really overly talk about. There will be a risk of excessive rainfall down here, a 15% risk in southern areas of Louisiana, Mississippi, and extreme southeast and southeast Texas and southwest Alabama. 15% risk of flash flooding occurring. And then as we get into day 3, as far as the severe weather outlook, I mean, there's actually not even a marginal risk up. I do think that'll change, but for now, nothing to talk about too much. But I can tell you as we get into tomorrow, there's these rounds of shower and storm activity surging all the way, and this is for tomorrow morning, surging all the way up into Tennessee. And I think this will break apart before it gets to the southeast, but eventually it will get to the southeast. This is Thursday morning, still a lot of storm activity down here in the deep south states. Then we get into Thursday afternoon, you're starting to see widespread thunderstorm activity across the southeast, just these in the form of these blobs of green and yellow and orange and red. We'll be able to hyper-focus on these areas once we're in range of short-range model guidance. And then we get into Friday. It gets a little weird. It's going to be tough to try to figure out, but we have a trough kind of digging down to the northeast. So we'll figure that out as we come. And then how much rain we could get between now and 7 a.m. Monday. You know, a lot of this is going to fall over the next 48 hours across the deep south, but this is how much rain you're expecting across the southern tier of the country. And I do want to show a little bit of love to the deep south too. A lot of this rain right here is rain to come. So, you know, up here to Columbia to Atlanta, you guys are kind of like right in the boundary area where, you know, north of this area, you won't get a whole lot of rain. South, you know, a few inches of rain could fall. Just between now and basically the weekend. So we'll continue to watch this pattern. Overall, nothing too crazy that I'm seeing whatsoever out there. So what time is it? Looks like it's instead of actually stopping the radar, I stopped the video, so that's why there's a little weird pause right there. But we're gonna read some scripture, reading the Bible a little bit. It's 7:07, 7:08, so I got some time here. This is a passage of scripture that a lot of people are familiar with. Heck, some people might have it on a shirt or wristband, written down on their something, but it's Romans chapter 8, verse 28. We know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. So, you know, that goes into a lot of what I speak on a lot. And I think it's one of the most encouraging Bible verses out there, especially when you're going through some tough times. I talk about the valleys of life, the blows of life. You know, you read that scripture and I'll pull a lot from it. My hope and my faith certainly skyrockets, and just, you know, it just says it, guys. You know, everything that you go through, the negative, the positive, the things in between, it all has a chance, I would say, to work together. And the reason I say it has a chance to work together, because a lot of people let the negative permanently impact them. Meaning, you know, they let those unfortunate situations, some that you can control, some that you can't, kind of keep you down for weeks, months, years, decades, and to the point where, you know, you're heading to the grave, and you let it keep you down your whole entire life. You know, so God is ready to connect the dots and to use it to, you know, your greater purpose in life, and ultimately for him to get glorified for it. But, you know, you have to lean on him. You have to pray. You have to build your relationship with him so he can begin to connect those dots. And listen, I'm not here to say that he can't do it even if you don't do that. God works in mysterious ways. We know that. But, I know that when I'm struggling, when I'm going through certain things, and I've mentioned this time frame a lot. Back in last October and November, when I had the issues with YouTube, which is nothing compared to what other people are going through. But, I put a lot of time, a lot of effort into these videos covering hurricane season, and then YouTube did what they did to me. And if you're like, Mitch, I don't know what you're talking about, what YouTube did to you, then, there's no point in getting into it. But, I kind of got, in a way, hoodooed a little bit. It's a word I use, but an unfortunate situation happened that really I didn't even do anything wrong, and just happened. But I was down in the dumps over that. But you know what? It took daily just talks with God. It took going on walks. It took talking with him. It took praying. It took encouragement from you guys. You guys encouraged me so much. You reached out in the comments. You reached out in email. And God used all that to allow me to extract something out of that, the good out of that, and apply it going forward. And I think that's what we're called to do in these tough situations. It says, we know that all things work together for the good. God connects it all. So just, I'll leave it with that. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for people who continue to tune in. It's very slow right now. I find myself just, it's slow at work too. Like my full-time job where I work, it's slow at work too. So, I just kind of find myself like, and I'm such a high-paced person, I'm go, go, go. And I feel like I operate better when I have a lot going on, at least a steady flow of things going on. And it's just, it's just been slow. So I need to figure out ways to handle that a little bit better. So I'll certainly ask for prayers for that. But anyways, enough of my rambling. God bless all y'all. Stay safe in Texas and surrounding states today. Take the tornado threat serious. Take the flash flooding threat serious. And one thing I always will say, you gotta respect the weather, guys, or it'll demand respect in the most disrespectful way. So God bless y'all. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.